Hi everyone and welcome back. Okay, in this tutorial what we're going to do is we're going to actually remove elements from our web page using the document object model. So the first method I want to show you is the remove method. How this works essentially is you take whatever element it is you're trying to remove and using dot notation just call or invoke the remove method. Okay, so how does this work? Well, on our web page we have this heading 2 and a H1. So let's just remove both, okay? We'll just get a bit of practice. So how would we remove the H1? Well, what we could do is we could create a variable and then we could remove it. So we could say let heading 1 be equal to document.querySelector, and we're just going to pass in H1. So this query selector will return the first heading 1 on the page. There's only one heading 1, okay? So now what I could do is on heading 1, I could call or invoke the remove method by just saying remove, semicolon to end statement, and what this will do is remove the heading 1. To prove that to you, if I refresh, the heading 1 is gone. You could also, if you wanted, remove the heading 2, okay? So heading 2, let's give this one an ID. You could do a query selector as well, but I'll just say H2 we'll give it an ID of heading 2. So just for practice, what we'll do this time is we'll say let heading 1 be equal to heading 2, apologies. Dara, drink more of your tea. I actually have tea beside me. Let me take a sip here. Awesome, I feel better already. Okay, document.get element by ID. And what did we call it? We called it heading 2. We could just do query selectors the whole way, but I kind of like to use the selectors interchangeably. You know, query selector, get element by ID, just for your own practice, okay? So here we're getting our elements, and looks like here we're writing the code to get rid of them. So to remove heading 2, you just say heading 2 dot remove parentheses. So here what we're doing now is we're removing both the heading 1 and the heading 2 variables from the page, and the variables are actually basically actual HTML elements. So now if I save and refresh, you see here that both the headings have disappeared. Okay, if I delete the code, save and refresh, we should get our heading 1 and our heading 2 back. Okay, that's awesome. So guys, that is how you can remove an element from the page. On the element, just call or invoke the remove method in JavaScript. You can also remove a child element of a parent by calling or invoking the remove child method. How this one works is you have some sort of element, and on that you remove the child by calling or invoking the remove child method, and this inbuilt method is actually expecting to receive an element passed in as an argument. What element are you looking to remove? So what we can do is actually create a parent element, maybe for the unordered list, and then remove a list item off of it. So what we could do is we could say let parent be equal to document dot, let's see, we have an ID here for the unordered list, so let's grab that. So this time we'll say document dot get element by ID, and then we're going to pass in that ID there of European cities. So now what we should have is the unordered list stored in the parent variable. Just to prove that to you, if I save and refresh, we see here we have the unordered list. That's awesome. Then what I want to do is I want to remove the very first element. So Athens is there, okay? We want to remove Athens from our list, okay? So remember, that's our list. So how do we do this? Well, what we can do is we can create a child. We'll say let child be equal to document dot, and this time what we'll do is we'll get elements by tag name. So we'll say get elements by tag name, and we're going to pass in li. So li is for the list item, and then what we're going to do is we're going to access the first list item, and that will be at 0. Okay, so now if I say console.log child, we should see that we're getting Athens. Okay, let me just save and refresh. We see here we get Athens. So what we could do now, if we wanted to remove Athens from the parent, is we could call or invoke the remove child. Now remember, the first thing you need to do is decide what element you're trying to remove something from. So parent is our unordered list. So I'm going to say parent dot remove child, and then we have our parentheses because we're invoking the method, and we're going to pass in child. Remember, child is basically just Athens. And if I now save and refresh, Athens is now gone, okay? You could, for example, remove something else. So for example, if we were to change that to be 1, if we now save and refresh, Athens comes back, and it looks like we lost Rome. Okay, awesome. So guys, that is how you can use the remove method and the remove child method to basically remove elements from the page using the document object model. That's awesome. I'll see you in the next one.